Having fully completed the outpost in the previous episode, we can now focus on filling in the empty plots of land behind the outpost to create a village. For this episode, I will be building an underground crypt with a mausoleum type entrance up top on one of these plots of land, where the remains of the farmhands that were cremated in the previous episode will be kept. This crypt used to be a mine, but the miners tapped into an unknown underground aquifer, causing the mine to flood. However, the top level didn't flood, so it was converted into a crypt. The flooded lower levels are represented with the trans light blue bricks. The villagers had to change their primary profession from miners into farmers, utilizing this underground aquifer as a source of water for the irrigation system that we built in previous episodes. I will be adding a build to represent the water extraction method in a later episode, but for now we will focus on this crypt. I am a fan of Diablo 2, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to recreate something from that game. I've basically replicated the Crypt dungeon tile set from Act 1 of Diablo 2 with the high density of rounded columns and the 2 levels of stone shelves where the skeletal remains are placed, as well as the dark stone archways separating each room, with one built at the back to represent a continuation of the crypt further in. The headroom might seem a bit tight, but I think it suits the mine conversion theme I'm going for here. I added some of my own details here and there, such as these wooden wall containers to store the ash remains of the fallen, as well as some potions and other concoctions belonging to the magus who looks after this crypt. There's a trapdoor in front of the entrance stairway to represent a continuation of the vertical mine shaft below, but it's currently flooded. This entire space was built on a 32 by 32 base plate, which completes the final corner of this diorama. I built an extension area next to the crypt to represent what the mine used to look like before the conversion. The ground level was built using an arrangement of different rectangular Technic bricks to create a hole that links to the stairs so minifigures can actually traverse down to the crypt. The mausoleum is inspired by the Crypt dungeon entrance in Diablo 2 as well, but I changed a few details so it's not exactly the same. The original one had a Romanesque theme to the design which I replicated here, but I wanted to add a Gothic arch over the entrance rather than sticking to the squared post and lintel style entrance. After experimenting with different arch techniques, I settled on this one which utilizes bar and clip pieces, giving the archway a ribbed look. I think this design suits the purpose of this building with all the skeletons below. To make the exterior walls a bit more interesting, I added snot bricks with tiles to create raised areas from the wall representing columns. had a couple of these gargoyle bricks on hand and decided that the roof of this mausoleum would be a great spot for them. 1x6 tiles connected to modified plates are used to create that Romanesque roofing design from the original building in the game. I finished off the roof with dark bluish grey tiles to match the other buildings in the village and the outpost, but used the 2x2 types here instead to differentiate it a bit. All of these slate tiles are presumably leftovers from the mine below before it was flooded. After that, the last thing to work on is some pathing around the mausoleum. I didn't add any fencing since it would take up too much space for other buildings coming in later episodes. The waters have scarcely receded. This hidden aquifer must be vast, Captain Hewitt observed. I've been stationed here nearly 30 years, just before the mines flooded. Magus Eberin replied. The plan back then was to drain it and start mining again. But as you can see, we've had to find other ways to live with it. When I was assigned to this outpost 4 years ago, it seemed farming had always been the heart of this community. The people have thrived under your guidance, Magus. It's clear they look up to you. I can see it plainly. They are honest folk, hard-working to the last. These farmhands were no different, only to fall to such cruel fate. Here their remains shall rest. May they find peace. I must confess, Magus, Joff's words about the nature of this new foe have been weighing on me. I first noticed Joff roaming these lands about a decade ago. By my estimation, he's in his late 20s. Perhaps early 30s. If his tales about wandering every corner of the realm are true, he would have had to start his travels before he could even walk. You understand what I'm suggesting, don't you? You make a fair point, but even so, there's a reason Verdant's End is receiving new fortifications. Reports have come in of raids on the western settlements within the Dragon Kingdom, attacks carried out by an unknown force, set to dwell within the Ashlands. As you know, the Ashlands are barely livable. That alone raises troubling questions about the nature of this new foe. The king is concerned. He has ordered every western outpost strengthened, Verdant's End included. Curious. I've heard nothing of this from the Guild of Magic. With our role in the Allied leadership, the Archmage would have known. He likely does know. My superiors ordered me not to share this with my own men, claiming the reports are not reliable. Some believe it may be a ploy by the Dragon Kingdom to pull our attention away from the northern border we share with them. The Archmage may see it the same way. I'm only telling you because I hold you in high regard, just as the people here do. I trust you enough to share this burden I bear. That is troubling. I should review my scriptures on the nature of the Ashlands once more, and perhaps speak with Joff. Captain, I've placed 2 guards in the fields disguised as farmhands. Tomorrow I'll assign another as ordered, but I fear it won't be enough. If those thugs return, we may lose the men. Sergeant Steven reported. The day after that, you'll place another, and continue to do so until we have adequate coverage of the fields. A sudden surge in farmhands will draw suspicion. We need to capture them, not drive them off. But if they strike tomorrow, the men will be overwhelmed, Captain. then stay on high alert for the first few days. If the assailants appear, you must send reinforcements immediately. It is vital that we capture these thugs. I need to know who they are and what motivates them. The captain ordered sternly. I'd like to give a big shout out to our channel members supporting the creation of Scarellis, with a special thank you to our captains, Brendan Bundyboy Davies, Karnosh, Kaya Fried Rice 38, and Omni Khan. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.